Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and so you've all heard the news about what's leaving Age of Sigmar. It's a pretty big deal because of the amount that's leaving. This isn't me being salty, it's me being confused. No, I am absolutely boggled by this. Now, here's the thing. Leaving Age of Sigmar and leaving the web store are two different things, okay? And these are leaving the web store too, which is what makes this to a level of bizarre I just can't wrap my head around. Now, first things first, the Stormcast Eternal. The thing about the Stormcast Eternal is that they are a relatively new army, and most of these kits are less than 10 years old. Actually, all of them are less than 10 years old, some are even younger than that, making them, in the terms of wargaming, very, very new. Wargaming isn't like video games. Games Workshop seems to get this idea that they're going to base their entire marketing around video games. It doesn't work for tabletop wargaming. Upgrading your system or your console to play the newer games is because hardware updates, and you're not going to be able to play the newer games on older stuff because the memory's not there, the graphical power is not there. All this requires is a tabletop. Well, all it requires is a flat surface, preferably not sloped. But, it doesn't need any more updating. This idea that you can just update something at a drop of a hat because the rules aren't quite right doesn't make sense for wargaming. You need to get it right straight away with the rules and everything else before anything. You can't just, throw out a PDF saying all this has changed because, rules aren't working right. It needs to be right from the start because not everyone's going to download every PDF of our army. They're not going to, carry around the codex and a binder with all the extra rules in it. Or do what I could probably... I'm sorry, they might write in books. God, that doesn't sound good to me. I just have this thing about writing in books. I don't like it. But see what I mean? It's not the same. If you update something in a video game, it gets put out straight away, and it's done and dusted. It's updated. Updating a tabletop game with an FAQ or an errata requires more work on the consumer's behalf by downloading what you need to do, writing in what it is, or printing the pages off, whatever. When they went digital with the start of 40k, that was a great idea because when the rules updated, they just had to update that. That was fine. Going fully digital, I have no issues with because it can update automatically. That's fine. But getting rid of models which are less than 10 years old, when you have models which are over 30, which actually I think some are over 30 years old on your website, models that actually do need that update, is bizarre. And I don't understand it. Stormcast Eternals are getting a new edition. They are the poster boys of Age of Sigmar. But Space Marines don't get that. Let me just check something a minute, because I want to double check this. Yeah, Warhammer 40k. Well, we're here. Space Marines. Look, these are the models available for Space Marines. These are all new kits, new kits, new kits, new kits, new kits. Still new kits, but we keep going. There you go, the Sanguinary Priest, the Sanguinary Guard, the original Death Company, Blood Angel with Jump Pack. See, Auric Whistler, they don't constantly get updated, even though, for Space Marines get new models every edition. A lot of these are still available because they add supplements, etc., etc. I'm not a fan of supplements, but I can understand using them or having different codices for different armies because you're not getting rid of every kit. The Terminator Assault Squad, that's the older one, I think. Let's look here. Let's go to a really old kit. Devastator and Vanguard Squad. These are really old kits, and they've not been removed from the store as of yet because they're still being able to be used in Warhammer 40k. These are less than 10 years old, and they're going. Not all of them, because some will get updated battle scrolls. But if they get updated war scrolls, as they say, why get rid of them? It's like saying, yeah, we got these new rules for them, you just can't buy them. This actually hit a nerve with me when the Eldari came out for 9th edition. and they decided to drop a load of the named characters from the web store. I'll just show you this as well because I think it is important. I'm coming to that in a minute. And I do think it's important because if we go here, if you're an outdoor player like myself, you'll notice that there are many named characters missing. I mean, a load of these kits are really old too, by the way. And yeah, there's no Azuman, there's no Fugan, who is an absolute boss. There's Jane Czar, a Baharoth. Many of the named characters are gone. They're in the book, but you just can't buy them. Which, for some reason, is absolutely bizarre to me. I know they're not there. So, these brand new kits, less than 10 years old, are... Okay, I'm saying brand new in a relative term here, because we're going to get to that in a minute. Are going only on their 3rd edition. I can't name a single kit up till this day which has had such a short shelf life. Wargaming isn't video games, as I've said before. Models will constantly work even in newer games. You don't need to update your models every time. You can still use your firstborn Space Marines. You can still use the Primaris from when they first dropped. Same with the Tyranids and the Chaos Space Marines. Their models and their rules still are usable 20-30 years later. Just to suddenly be told at 10 years, that's the shelf life of your model now. So this is the Scaven. This makes sense. Okay, I can understand this. A load of these kits are really old. This model here, the Scryer Acolyte, or the Gobadier, is almost 30 years old. This model is, well, when it was available, was still in metal. It never even made it to Finecast. Most of these are at least 20. I was going to say, I don't think these are 20 years old. These were last edition Warhammer Fantasy, so we're talking 9-10 years old maybe. But they're still older than Stormcast Eternals. But many of these are 20, and some even, I believe, are 30 years old. So yeah, they needed a range refresh. They need that. This makes sense. Okay, I'm not going to argue about the Scaven. They make sense. Okay, these don't. Removing these from the web store makes 0 sense. Absolutely none. Oh, but they're not going to be usable in Age of Sigmar. No, but they're usable in the old world. You know, that brand new game where they just released a lot of orcs and goblins for. These are usable for that game. Most of these models are for that game. They're Warhammer Fantasy models. They're not Age of Sigmar models. And you can use them for that, to add a little bit of colour to your orc boys, you know. They'll play the same as your normal orc boys, or your boar boys, your weird-nubs, whatever. I just believe this one is the only one, because he looks different, isn't Age of Sigmar. He is, but they just changed his base, by the way. He was plastic he had a square base for the longest time. But, you know, let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him instead of just picking him up and moving him over to the old world. That would make sense to me. Okay? You've got this brand new game, you've just released, you want people to buy it, so you remove models which are for that game. It's just weird. Like I said, this isn't me being sorry, this is me being confused. I can't see what went through marketing's head. I can't see what went through their head. When you have this brand new game, and instead of having the models there, which you have, just getting rid of them straight away. And this isn't the only one. Brand new models again. I'm not going on the same rant on that one. Again, most of these are out the old world. The Beast Lord, the Ungors, the Bestigors, the Gors, they are. The Chaos Warhounds are. The Dragon Ogres. Okay, I think they're actually kind of new as well. Because I know that this guy is. Here. He's really new. He's a relatively new kid. He only came out for Age of Sigmar. But the Tuscarora Chariot, the Jabba's Life, the Cockatrice, Centaurs, those are old kits ready for the old world. They just had to be picked up and moved over. It took nothing. It takes nothing at all just to go, oh, we have this new game people want to play. What should we do? Shall we get rid of an army which is for that game, or should we just move it over? But apparently their logic was get rid of that army. It's absolutely astoundingly weird to me, and I do apologise. I don't get it. I really don't. They are getting rid of old world armies and old world models for no reason. And I can't think of a reason other than they hate money. For a company that's meant to be as greedy as they are, they make some really weird decisions. And like I said, this is just confusing to me. Yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? I would like to hear your opinions down below. I really want to hear them this time. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll links to Wheeling Games down below if you wish to save up to 20% on your Warhammer and free delivery after £20. There is Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, manga, movie stuff, toys, plushies, all that cool stuff based on video games and all the other cool stuff. There is also my merchandise comics, my comics as well, which are mine. I wrote them. There is also my merchandise, cups, stickers, TV, t-shirts, I should say, etc., etc. And finally, Skyforge. Go give him a click and have a look at him. He's a good friend of mine, and I wish to support him a bit more. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.